Imagine a cold January morning in rural North Carolina. A 5-year-old girl stands outside her family's home, waiting for the school bus that will take her to kindergarten. Her mother stays with her for a few moments before briefly stepping back inside. The bus should arrive soon, but during those few ordinary moments, a full-size pickup truck approaches the area. When her mother returns, her little girl is gone. By the following day, a family's desperate search will come to a devastating end, and a mystery will take root in Hoke County that remains unsolved nearly 3 decades later. Good evening. I'm Marcus Hayes, and tonight on Case Files After Dark, we are examining one of North Carolina's most haunting, unsolved child abductions, the 1998 murder of 5-year-old Brittany Locklear. If you're here for the deep, unsettling mysteries that time tried to bury, you're in the right place. To understand the fear this case brought to Hoke County, we have to return to the morning of Wednesday, January 7th, 1998. Brittany Locklear was 5 years old and attending kindergarten. She was remembered as a loving, outgoing little girl with a bright personality. She loved Pocahontas, enjoyed trips to McDonald's, and was known for giving hugs to the people around her. That morning, Brittany went outside her family's home on Gainey Road to wait for her school bus. It was a routine that families across North Carolina followed every weekday morning. Children waited near their homes. Parents watched for the flashing lights of the approaching bus. And everyone expected those children to arrive safely at school. Brittany's mother remained outside with her for a short time before briefly stepping back into the house. But when she returned, Brittany was no longer standing there. The school bus had not arrived. Her daughter had vanished. Investigators would later focus on reports of a full-size pickup truck seen near the area around the time Brittany disappeared. The exact color of that truck remains unknown. What authorities did know was that Brittany had apparently been taken from outside her own home while waiting to begin an ordinary day at school. Her family immediately began searching. Law enforcement was contacted, and what began as a frightening disappearance quickly became an urgent search for a missing 5-year-old child. News of Brittany's disappearance moved rapidly through Hoke County. Law enforcement officers, emergency personnel, volunteers, and members of the surrounding community joined the search. Roads were checked. Fields and wooded areas were examined. Residents were questioned about vehicles or unfamiliar people they may have noticed that morning. Authorities circulated information about the pickup truck while appealing to anyone who had been traveling through the area to come forward. Every passing hour carried greater urgency. Brittany was only 5 years old. It was January, and no one knew where she had been taken or who had taken her. For her family, the wait must have felt endless. Then, on January 8th, one day after Brittany disappeared, the search reached a heartbreaking conclusion. Her body was discovered in a drainage ditch beside a farm road approximately 3 miles from where she had last been seen. Investigators determined that Brittany had been assaulted and killed. The person responsible had taken a child from outside her home, traveled only a few miles, and then disappeared without being identified. The discovery devastated Brittany's family and sent fear through the surrounding community. Parents who had once allowed their children to wait outside for the school bus suddenly stayed much closer. Every unfamiliar vehicle became suspicious. Every unanswered question made the community wonder whether the person responsible lived nearby or had simply passed through unnoticed. The Hoke County Sheriff's Office and the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation began the difficult work of identifying Brittany's abductor. Physical evidence was collected from both the area where Brittany was taken and the location where her body was recovered. That evidence was submitted to the SBI laboratory for examination. Investigators followed hundreds of leads and interviewed people throughout the region. One of the most important parts of the investigation was the description of the suspect's vehicle. Early reports included conflicting information about its appearance and possible color. Over time, investigators reviewed those reports and re-interviewed witnesses. Today, authorities describe the vehicle only as a full-size pickup truck of unknown color. That change matters. Investigators do not want someone dismissing valuable information simply because a truck was not the color described in an early news report. They are asking people to think back to January of 1998. Did someone they knew own or regularly drive a full-size pickup truck? Did that person behave unusually after Brittany disappeared? Was the truck suddenly sold, repainted, hidden, damaged, or no longer used? Did someone make a disturbing statement that seemed insignificant at the time? A detail that once appeared ordinary could be the missing piece investigators have been searching for. Despite years of interviews, evidence reviews, and public appeals, no one has been charged with Brittany's abduction and murder. But the case has never been forgotten. Nearly 30 years have passed since Brittany disappeared from outside her home. Children who were her age in 1998 are now adults with families of their own. Investigators have changed. Technology has advanced. Memories have faded. But the central question remains: who took Brittany Locklear? The Hoke County Sheriff's Office continues to investigate the case and has renewed its request for information. Authorities have emphasized that no detail is too small and no previously reported information is unimportant. The person responsible may have told someone what happened. A friend or relative may have noticed suspicious behavior but remained silent. Someone may remember a full-size pickup truck that disappeared shortly after the crime, and someone who was afraid to speak in 1998 may no longer feel obligated to protect the same person today. Time creates challenges in a cold case, but it can also change loyalties. Relationships end. Families separate. Secrets become harder to carry. And sometimes, after decades of silence, one person finally decides to tell the truth. Brittany Locklear was 5 years old. She loved Pocahontas. She enjoyed going to McDonald's. And on the morning of January 7th, 1998, she was simply waiting for the school bus to take her to kindergarten. She should have arrived at school that morning. She should have returned home that afternoon. Instead, nearly 3 decades later, her family is still waiting for answers. If you have information about the abduction and murder of Brittany Lynn Locklear, even if it seems insignificant or you believe it has already been reported, please contact the Hoke County Sheriff's Office at 9108-755-111. Anonymous information can also be submitted through the Hoke County Sheriff's Office tip line at 9108-781100. What detail do you believe could finally break this case open after nearly 30 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm Marcus Hayes, and this is Case Files After Dark. Stay safe out there, North Carolina.